Hi guys, it's Elizabeth
and Brian,
and you're listening to My Grown Up Life. And today's little rant, even though I know I just posted the We Came Back video, today's topic is a rant, and it's about bad, crazy, psychotic, weird neighbors. And if you have a bad, psychotic, crazy, weird neighbor story, please put it in the comments below. We will pick our absolute favorites, and we will make a viewer submission video, and your story might be in it. And you can have people comment and be like, yeah, that is kind of crazy, and so that way you won't feel so crazy and you have some, I don't know, just put your stories down there and we'll do your viewer submission. This took place in May, and our new neighbor moved in March, April, so this was the end of May. There was this puppy that was barking in the next building over, and the sound did come in, and there was a couple times where I thought she had a dog and it was barking, but obviously she didn't have a dog because I never saw her with it. She comes over, she rings our doorbell. Brian's had a hard night, so we were sleeping in, he was having nightmares, PTSD issues. We slept in a little bit. She rings our doorbell and dog starts barking, because that's what our dog does when somebody rings the doorbell. She confronts Brian kind of aggressively, and she tells Brian, she's like, your dog has been barking nonstop and it's starting to really irritate me. You need to make it stop. And Brian was like, I'm sorry, ma'am, our dog isn't the one that's barking. We've heard the dog too, and we're sorry, but it's not ours. And he even told her where the dog was located, because we'd walked by it, like when we were walking our dog, and it just happened to be out there barking. And we told her, it's down here, this building upstairs. Have fun with that. Obviously not that way because she was older than us. We respect our elders. But that's what he told her, is down there and up. That's where the dog's barking from. And she refused to believe it and kept saying, you need to get your dog under control. You need to get your dog under control. And Brian kind of shut down emotionally, like he does when he's confronted with somebody. And he just takes on that soldier kind of no-nonsense voice. And he's like, ma'am, it's not our dog. I don't know what to tell you. And so, frustrated by not getting a reaction out of him, she finally goes, you need to get your dogs under control, and stomps over to her place right across from us, and slams the door, right? And Brian tells me what happens, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe she was just, really pissed off because maybe you were being a little bit stony and rude. Maybe she mistook that for being rude, or I don't know. Let me go over and smooth it over because I don't want any conflict anymore, and I don't want her to misunderstand you. So open up the dining room window, like usual, to get fresh air in. Brian's sitting at the table drinking his coffee. Incidentally, his good ear is to the window. And it's not really that far from my front door to her front door anyway. So I go over there, and Brian can hear the whole thing going on, and she comes to the door, and her face is kind of droopy on the left side, and I'm thinking that she might have had a stroke or something, and of course she's older, so I'm trying to really, maintain that respect for somebody that obviously has a disability and obviously is older than me. And despite what you guys think, I'm just very comfortable with you guys, which is why I cuss in my videos. I don't cuss outside the house, okay? She's obviously got a disability and she's older than me, so P's and Q's, mind them. And I was like, look, you talk to my husband. I don't want you to mistake what he said for rude. He's he's got a combat veteran. He's got combat PTSD. Which includes a whole bunch of stuff, and he didn't mean to be rude. He's just not good with social things right now. He's still recovering and learning how to deal with social interactions, so I just didn't want you to take that as rude. And about our dog, when does the dog bark? Do you notice? And she was like, well, it was barking this morning. I was like, ma'am, our dog was in our bedroom on the end of our bed, and if he would have barked, we would have woken up. But he was not barking. The dog in question is living in the building down the way, upstairs. That is the dog that you want, not our dog. And then she starts going, well, I have a disability too. I've got directional hearing issue. And I'm like, I look at her and she goes, yes, directional hearing loss. And I'm like, okay, well then that I'm assuming that means that, you can't hear what direction the sound is coming from. You can just hear the sound. And I Googled it, and that's exactly, at least from the articles that I read, is exactly what that is they can hear sound, they just don't know where it's coming from. So that's got to be frustrating. I'm trying to be nice. And she keeps on and keeps on about it, and I'm trying to reassure her and still maintain being nice to her. And all of a sudden, she starts getting weird with it. She's like, well, I opened up my dining room window and listened one day when the dog was barking, and it definitely sounded like it's coming from your apartment. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if you have a directional hearing issue, then how can you hear that it's coming from my apartment? But I didn't say that to her. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, look, were there teenagers at my door? Because my daughter's friends will come over and ask her to hang out, and they ring the doorbell, and it drives her dog nuts. So was there kids at the door or something? And she was like, no, there was nobody at the door. And I'm like, then I have no idea what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It's not our dog. We are at home 98.9% of the time because of my husband's combat PTSD related social anxiety disorder. We don't really go a lot of places because he's still learning how to, reintegrate with the whole social contact thing. She goes, well, last Friday I was listening at your front door. And I'm like, what? Like in my head, I'm like the little red flags are being woven around, and they're like, there's whistles and bombs and bells going off in my head. Like, this is fucking weird. Okay, who listens at somebody's fucking door? But outside, I'm like, I just kind of looked horrified at her, I guess, because she instantly got oh shit face. The oh shit face. The face that you make when you put your foot in your mouth and you can't take it back. It's out there. People fucking hurt you and you realize you've made a mistake, but you can't do anything. That face. That oh shit face. She made oh shit face. And I asked her, I was like, don't you think that's a little weird to be standing at my front door? And she was like, no, I don't think it's weird. And I'm like, what? Who does that? She proceeded to ask how long I had been living here. And I was like, I've been living here since last August. And nobody has ever complained about our dog, period, before, at all, ever. And she just kind of was like, she made sort of slight oh shit face again. Okay, cool, we've established that. I've been here longer than you. Nobody's complained about my dog. This is the dog you want. Please go that way with your crazy and door listening. Then she goes, 2 days ago, I had my friend who used to manage these apartments come over and listen at your front door, and she said that it was yours. And now I'm thinking in my head, not only are you creeping by my front door, you've got other people creeping by my front door. Now at this point, it's kind of speculated whether or not this is exactly true or not, because either way, it's still disturbing that one, you're listening at my door, now you got other people listening at my door, if that's even fucking true. And I think that she just kept one-upping it so that way she would feel validated, like, oh well, maybe. And I wasn't buying any of her shit after she said I was listening at your front door, because that's creepy as fuck. So anyhow, I let it go. There was a wasp, chased us back inside. I was like, okay, well, I talked to her, I told her where the dog was barking at, whatever. So June 10th, Brian's parents had flown in the night before, and they'd stayed over. They were going down to visit other family and friends in a different city. They had already taken off. It was like 7 something, almost 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were finishing up our coffee at the table. The front window was open as per usual, and they had left, and the neighbor's dog started barking again. All of a sudden, we hear her open her front door and yell, "Shut up!" Now, this is not the first time that we've heard her fucking yelling at shit. One time, maintenance was doing their annual tree grooming, right? And they had a wood chipper out here, and she was yelling at them to shut up. She's not used to apartment living. She came from a house. She downsized, and she's not used to apartment sounds. Maintenance does maintenance things. There are dogs that are going to bark. My neighbors drive me nuts with how hard they just stomp around upstairs, but you don't see me flipping my lid about it and listening at their front door. So anyhow, she slams her door, and all of a sudden I hear on my wall. She is beating on my fucking wall, and at that point I'm like done. I'm like, if this lady is crazy enough to start, she's yelling out at shit and everything from her front door, and she's fucking pounding on my door, that's a whole set of drama that I don't want to deal with. So we went down to the office, told them everything that she had said, and so the office was like, yeah, we'll talk to her. You should never beat on somebody's wall. That just escalates the problem. Nowadays you don't know who you're living next to, so it's just a bad idea to beat on somebody's wall. So lesson number 1, don't beat on people's walls just because you're pissed. Yep. Go to the office about it. And then we told them about her that she admitted she's standing by the front door, and that it aggravated his PTSD, which it did, and he's still having issues where his hypervigilance has been overactive because he doesn't feel his perimeter secure now. So anyhow, they were like, well, if you catch her by your front door again, then you need to call the police. And I'm like, cool beans. The funniest thing that happened after that whole incident was that she realized that she was in the parking space next to ours, pulled up at the same time, and I got out of my car. I was just ignoring her, right? And so she waited until we got all the way down the sidewalk to get out of her car, like, oh, those mean young people are gonna come after me and like hurt me and stuff if you're gonna yell at me. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and I'm sitting there laughing in my head because I'm like, I got better things to do than to sit, like, you're invisible to me, I don't give a crap. She starts parking elsewhere. Now, she will park in unassigned parking because she thinks, I guess, in her brain, that I'm going to fuck with her car. I have better things to do with my fucking time than to do bullshit, stupid things to your car. That was the end of it until August the 11th. 2015. I hear some noise around the front door around like, you know, maybe 8-ish, 9-ish in the morning. And right by my front door, like immediately right in my front door is this cloud of perfume. It was just bam, perfume, right? Why am I telling you this? This is important later. About 2 o'clock, we go to take our dog for a walk as per usual and go to get our mail. And unfortunately, that path just happens to be like going around her little patio area, and we just ignore it. We pretend that it doesn't exist. Loki stops to smell a bush, and I'm like, dude, don't stop here. I don't want to deal with this. And Brian's like, we definitely don't want to stop here, Liz, right now. We don't want to stop here. And I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, look at what's behind me. She's sitting kind of half in, half out of her new parking spot, and fucking she's staring. She's staring at us. She's sitting there staring at us. So I did what Brian taught me to do, which is just stare back at her, right? See who breaks first, right? And she's still staring. And there comes a point when you do this, Brian said, and I reached that point where you realize there is no dealing with crazy. Crazy is just crazy. Let it go and move on. Then she pulls into her spot, and I'm like, whatever the fuck. It's just creepy that you're even going to stare at us like that. Whatever, right? Go down to the mailboxes and everything. And this other older lady was like, oh, I love your dog. How cute. And we were having a conversation about what type of dog he was. And, oh, he's so well behaved. Here she comes fucking to check her mail. Right? Here's why this is disturbing. The reason this is disturbing is she huffs by and everything. And she huffs back by. And I'm like, I happened to just be breathing in that moment, and fucking, do you know what I fucking smelled? I smelled the perfume that was by my fucking front door, dude. I'm not even kidding. She had been by my front door this morning. It makes me wonder how many more times. I need to get a security camera or something. But that is my creepy neighbor story. Post yours so we can do viewer submission. If you like this video, go ahead and like, comment about the creepiness down in the comments below. If you liked it a lot, please subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and try to have a really good day, because you never know when your creepy psychotic neighbor is going to leave her perfume cloud right by your front door. Until the next one, laters.
Bye bye.